You know, it's an idealized version of the big stormy lake.
In the hands of artist Ron Benson, old window glass becomes something completely unique.
Only a crazy person would draw this.
As he builds a series of giant glass murals, he's creating a whole new approach to his art.
I feel like I'm ahead of the curve somehow. I've never seen anybody do anything like this. If you look at the back of these things, I've got these clips. So gravity holds everything in place. And these things are very heavy, so they're not going to go anyplace.
This 6 foot by 6 foot mural is made up of 40-pound pieces of Lake Superior, hanging on a steel frame. The parts fit together like an elaborate jigsaw puzzle. It's one of 4 panels designed for the Whole Foods Co-op in Duluth.
Well, if you ask anybody who lives up here what they like about the area, they always point to the lake. You know, so I thought, it's a no-brainer. It really is. And it's symbolic, you know, fresh water, healthy food. I think they tie in pretty well with each other.
With the concept in mind, Ron started connecting his mental image to a tangible piece of art. It's a process that requires some innovative thinking and multiple steps.
I threw a bunch of paper up on the wall, and then I just started drawing, you know, the sweeping lines of waves, you know, and an imaginary sky. And just kind of rough detail. And then once I had done that, then it was time to refine the composition. And then I had to go from this drawing and convert this into, you know, clay. Of course, now if I was Chihuly, I'd have like rock and roll music playing, but I tend to listen to Swedish modern jazz or something like that. At this stage, the clay is very soft, and it's hard to get good, clean, sharp detail. So I do the rough stuff first. And I'll let it sit for a day. And as it loses moisture, it hardens up. And then I can really get the fine detail in.
The clay slabs eventually become molds for the glass. The molds for the co-op piece took 2 months to complete.
This mold is of a small wave, and it's broken down into three parts. There's a lot of movement in the clay and in the glass as it's heated up, but they swell at different rates. And it's very important that as it cools, it can move a little bit.
A pane of glass taken from an old window supports another layer of detail. Small strips of undulating glass enhance the waves that are carved into the mold. Ron says using glass taken from the same window assures cohesion in the kiln, and most of this glass came from windows salvaged from the old Two Harbors High School.
You know, when they decided to tear the building down, I thought there's an opportunity here to get a good supply of raw materials and do something with them. Otherwise, it gets buried in a landfill, and that's just a shame. But using recycled glass lets me do experimental things without worrying about, you know, breaking the bank. The more of this I put on, the heavier the piece gets, but the more texture it has, and the more lens-like it appears. Once all of these pieces are in place, then I can apply the color.
The color comes in the form of finely powdered glass in a multitude of hues. Simple tools produce complex results.
I'm just going to sprinkle some color here, little piles, and then I'll start pushing it around with this pencil. This will actually be the sky along the horizon. This is a color called delphinium, and it looks so different after it's fired. I just have to assume it's going to work out.
Finally, the pieces are loaded into Ron's electric kiln, where they're brought up to temperature, slowly, according to an adjustable computer program.
Computer controller does is it anneals the glass. It cools it down at a very controlled rate so that all of the molecules line up and there's no stress within the piece. And that way it'll last a long time.
Ron is a self-taught sculptor who developed his own technique. Now he's looking forward to the next big project and where it will take him.
I'd really like to get my stuff in major museums, sculpture gardens. Hey, I'll do backsplashes and tiles for people's kitchens and bathrooms too. It doesn't really matter, just so long as I can keep doing something that I enjoy. The object of art is, just to bring pleasure into people's lives, really. It's not some big kind of message. It's more about a feeling than a message. So, if you go to the grocery store and just glance at this for 20 seconds on your way in or out, it makes you feel a little bit better. It reminds you, what a great place we live in. That's fantastic.